It's time for good energy, and I'm Dr. Julie, and welcome to Bodyful Day 225. We are talking about bloating and the senses. This is day 2, and we are talking about the sense of smell. Join me today where we figure out how certain things have been conditioned to trigger our gut-brain axis and make us bloated. All right, let's start it with the basics. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And release. Take a deep breath in, expand in your belly, expand in your chest, expand in your sinuses, and rock back just a little bit on your sacrum. And blow it all the way out. And today, since we're talking about the sense of smell and bloating and gut stuff, I want you to think about your worst smell, kitchen smell, your worst kitchen smell. What don't you like the smell of cooking? And I will honestly tell you that while I like fish sauce, I do not like the smell of putting it in the pan. So I am going to breathe into that. Take a deep breath in. And release. All right. Welcome to Bodyful Day 225. We are talking about the sense of smell with bloating. And yesterday we hijacked the sense of sight and we talked about how, oh yes, bunch stuff, yes. We talked about how bloating is related to how bloating has a top-down and a bottom-up component. We talked about the gut stuff, yes. We talked about the gut-brain axis, the connection between the brain and the gut, and how it is instantaneous for something to be put in your mouth and cause a trigger and change in how your gut processes things. So today we're going to talk about the sense of smell. Remember, our goal through all of this is to use the healing equation. So energy to not have a bloated gut or energy to have a healthy gut equals good energy and minus stressors. And we can talk about the sense of smell both as a good energy in, and we can talk about it as a stressor. I'm going to start with talking about it as a stressor because it is a stressor. It is something specific. So we talked about the fact that you can put something in your mouth and that sends a signal to your brain, and then your brain sends a signal down to your gut that says, this is how we are going to respond to this food. And that gut-brain connection happens very quickly, and we also have the brain-gut connection, so it goes the opposite direction. And we can do the same thing with the sense of smell. We can smell something, and it can trigger the chemical patterning and then send it down to our gut and say, hey, we're going to be processing this soon. However, unlike putting it directly in your mouth and tasting it, there are a few extra steps. So in the sense of smell, remember, it is neither good nor bad when it comes in. It is the processing of it culturally, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago about the cultural relationship of scent. Scents change depending upon the culture and the information that they have. So a scent pattern in and of itself is not stressor or good energy in. It gets there through your culture or through learned experience. So this is where we can talk about something we've already talked about before, but we've talked about learned taste aversions. Learned taste aversions are those things that you do not eat anymore because for some reason there's an association between them and negative gut stuff. So for example, mine is Velveeta mac and cheese. First time it came out, I had the flu. I threw up afterwards, and from then on, the idea of Velveeta as a cheese, totally as a cheese food, totally just kind of went out the window. I used to like Velveeta on everything, and after that experience, Velveeta was no longer on my radar at all. So there are learned taste aversions, and those can then also fall back to smell. So the smell of that cooking, the smell of Velveeta, though Velveeta really doesn't have much of a smell because it is just processed stuff. But the smell of Velveeta, or at the beginning when I breathed into fish sauce, the smell of fish sauce does not make my system happy. And that can send then the top-down signal from my brain to my gut and manipulate my digestive components, whether or not it's manipulating them in the stomach, so in the upper part, or it's manipulating down and below in the ileocecal valve in the large intestines, causing me to not process them as well later. So the sense of smell, even though it's not actually like taste, when we get to taste, we'll talk a little bit more about taste, it does have that combination that usually smell and taste are linked. So walking into the ice cream shop where they're making fresh waffle cones usually does have good energy in. But if you know that eating ice cream, because you're lactose intolerant, usually causes stress to your gut, it's quite possible that you could learn that the smell of waffle cones cooking is actually not a good thing. And that can change your biochemistry enough to cause bloating. Now, on the other side, when we talk about getting enough good energy in to heal a gut, the sense of smell can do a little bit. It's not as powerful as if we were working on lungs. It's not as powerful if we were working on brain, but the sense of smell can be brought in to help with lower digestion, especially when we think about the sense of ginger, lemon and citrus flavors. Those, the sense of smell of those, whether it through essential oils or actually squeezing them in front of you, they can actually help trip good energy in for bloating that can actually cause your stomach to relax, cause the body to relax because of that chemical signature. So there are smells that are great energy in, and frankly, we get back to what I talked about yesterday, anything that calms the brain can calm the gut. So if you have scents that you really like, if you like the smell of sliced carrots, I was just throwing out something random there. If you like the smell of freshly sliced carrots, or even more random, not related to food, I like the smell of freshly cut logs. That's my upbringing as a daughter of a former tree farmer. So I love the smell of freshly cut logs. It is one of those things I truly enjoy. And even though it's not related to bloating and food, the smell of fresh cut logs calms my nervous system, which in turn takes some added bonus, sends some serotonin down to my gut and can calm bloating. All right. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Join me tomorrow for our next sense when we get into more about bloating and the interaction between the senses and how to have enough energy to heal gut bloating. So let's finish it off. Take a deep breath in and release. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.